Function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. Functions are used. So suppose we have a block of code which are very big and we are using that block of codes again and again. So instead of using those number of codes, we will make a function, and that function can be called every time wherever it is needed. You can pass data known as a parameters into a function, and function can return data as a result. So how to create a function? We just define a function, and suppose I'm defining hello here. I'm writing the function name, and writing the function name, and this round brackets and the colon. That's it. And you will write some. So I want to print hello world here. And now if you run this particular set of code, it will get executed. Your function is created now. You can see the process finished with exit code 0. So that means your function is working. But how to print this? I'm giving a print statement inside a function. So for printing this, you need to call the function. So calling a function will just need you need to give a name and return out that. Now if you run the code, you can see the it is getting printed out there. Hello. So that's how you create a function, and that's how you call a function. Here I'm not creating a function. Let us see some examples in functions. So we will see some examples. I have some examples to show in. I'm defining a function with 2 arguments here, first name and last name, and I'm printing that. So here while calling a function, I'll pass the argument inside. Run this set of program again, you'll get the output. So this hello world is getting from the first function. You're getting from. So let us see some examples. So we will write a program for making a calculator or rewriting calculator program using method-based. A function with every operator like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm having only this 4 operator with me now. So I'll create a function add, adding 2 numbers. I'll give a colon and I'll return the values. And while returning, I'll give a plus symbol. Now I'll make with subtract colon and return the value with minus symbol in the end. Now I'll create a function and return the value here. With multiplication. Again I'll create a function, divide, and a division function here. Now I will print which operator to use. So here I am commenting it, putting it inside the package. So again, enter the valid operation in the following. So the first one is addition, second one is, third one is multiplication, and the fourth one is. I'll make a variable. Now I'll create this number 1 as integer input here and place again. Now I'll create condition. If select is equal to then print or number 1 and plus symbol inside the double quotes. Here I will call the function number 1. Copy this statement. For the last one you don't need, you just need an invalid input. So here I will print invalid. And this I will make as else state. And others will be elif. We have studied about elif. This is 4 and I'm making a division here. I'll give a division symbol and I will call divide. And do multiplication or multiply. This is here 2 and here this is a subtraction. Now let's run this. Got the output here. Enter the valid operation from the following. First of all, I'm doing a subtraction here. Now I will ask for the first number. First number I will take as 50. Second number I will take as 25. Now 50 minus 25 is 25. This is from the data. So this is the function we made. You also have to do this about quotients. But you will be able to use a handler with programming. Okay, we'll do one more question. Tomorrow we can start with scripting, or you want me to pattern? You want some specific topics to cover? Let me remove this. Now we will do a question where we will writing a Boolean method executing to identify Armstrong number. Do you know what is Armstrong number? Here we will see we have a question writing a Boolean method and executing the loop to identify Armstrong numbers and array. So what happens? You have an array with some of the values of numbers, and you have to execute a loop inside those list or those array. Many of the numbers are Armstrong numbers. So for this, first of all, we will input an array. So this is how you input an array. From array import star. Input an array. I am creating a variable and I am using array name I, and in this list 10, 4, 11, 5, 153, 216. So these are my numbers inside an array. Now I will print array. I want to show you if I want to show you array. Let's check. We'll see the type of array. So you can see this is an array. This is how you print an array. You from array if you're importing everything, so you need to specify a data type. So this we are importing directly from array, but you know if you do it with NumPy, tomorrow we will see. Tomorrow in the class we will see what are NumPy, pandas, and we'll see the basics of all those things. You can create an array using NumPy. So you don't have to specify the data type. Array itself you need to specify. Now I'll create a for loop for I in this array. Now I'll initialize num as I.
Okay.
And n is equals to length of. So what I'm trying to do, I'm creating n because we need to make a square of a number, right, or cube of a number. We need to give a power of a number before adding all those numbers. So to get those powers, we need to get the length of the string. This I'm writing. Now I will set a while loop while I is not equal to 0. Then you can have a condition. So I will give digit here. Digit is equals to I percentage 10. Why I'm doing I percentage 10? Because I want the number to come out. One number. So result is equals to result plus digit square of n. And then here you are adding all the numbers by making by squaring or by giving a power to that number. Power will be same as your digit same. Now I is equals to I slash 10. Now, so the logic is created given just a condition, if condition is if I is equals to I slash 10. So here also you get a reminder and again it will go for the input. So the same thing here, I percentage 10. Let me print true here. So if number is equal to result and print true, else print false. Now if you run this particular set of numbers, so you will get false to false to false. Okay, if you want to check, 153 is my second last number, so this is the actual number. So this is how I'm going to execute this. Let us do one more question of Fibonacci series. Writing a Fibonacci series. Method based. So I'll define a function here with Fibo. Here I'll pass n. Now I'll initialize my a as 0. I'm initializing my numbers variables a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 1. These are the if the n value is greater than 0, again I'll take a condition. If n value is equal to 1, then print a. Else I'll write else print a and print b. And c I'll take another loop here. To n. and here I'll take C is equals to A plus B, and I'll sub the values. A is equals to B and B is equals to C. Now I'll print C there. Run the code. This got executed but I have not called. So if I call then only it will run. So I'll call FIBO by passing 5 in this. You'll get the output. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. So you have a Fibonacci series with 5 numbers. Let's continue with the oops. So you must be knowing about the class and the objects, right? I'm going to define you from class and object. We all belong to a human class, and human has some sort of names. So that names we define when we get born, and we have some certain tasks to do. In the same way, how we describe a class. So human is a class, and human is having some name, and he does some tasks. That's what a class does. So let me create a class here first of all. Write class, and you write a class name. So I'm writing my class. You give a colon. That's it. Your class is created. Now I will give some value inside this class. So I'll give x is equals to 5. So you created a class named my class with a property named x is equals to 5. Now we will create an object from this class. How to create an object? We write P1. P1 is equals to my class. Small thing. Yeah, my class. So this is how you can create an object from the class. This is only a class, right? And you have so many objects created from the human. So we are an object. So we create an object from the class. So I'm creating a variable name P1, and I'm taking the class name here with the round bracket, and this is known as a constructor object. So now if you want to print the value, so this value is inside. You can print the value only from the objects. So you want to print the value of this x value. So you will give an object name first P1 dot, and you will give a value you want to print. You can see the value of 5 is given. So we will create a class named person, and we will use the init function. You know what init function is, right? So I'm creating a class here. Now I'm defining this with init function. Init of self and name. I'll give some name and age. Now you need to give your self dot name equals to name and self dot age is equals to age. That's it. So here you have created a class person and you have defined the variable's name using the init function. And init function is used to initialize with the variables. Okay, that's why we use init function for naming the variables. Now I'll create a class. I will create an object with P1 is equals to, I'll call this class here, that is person, and round bracket. So we create an object. Creating an object is only I need to give the values. I'll give John here. I'll give 36. Now I will print the values. For printing, we need to specify the object name, P1.name, P1.age. When we set a program, we will get the name and the age. Okay. So this point is a user. Point.name, point.age. But generally we give self because the self is coming from the beginning, so that's why we use self here. You can give anything. Anything is built in. You can't give any other. You are initializing your class with giving some value name by giving a variable name. That's why we use init function. Because init function initializes in the class, right? Initializes first the beginning as a main function. Suppose you don't want to pass anything here, do this, and you can write the values here also directly. So here I will write John. I need to remove this thing, this name and age. Once you run the program, you can see. When you are defining the variables, you use init function because init initializes in the beginning.
Right, that init.
Yeah, because init function is automatically called every time when a class has been created. When you are creating a new object, init function will call automatically. No, no. You have to point. That's why I told you. When you are writing init function, you need to define inside self. Self is acts like a pointer. That's why I'm not name is equal to job. Point equals to. You can mention name is equal to job in this way. Okay. Like now, let me. Yeah, you get the pattern. The difference comes is this. This is your class variable, an instance variable is it, okay? And that we were defining as an init function. That was your class variable. There is a difference. This variable you can call every time inside a class, wherever you need. So class variable where you are defining, you have to call those using those classes. When you are defining those class, when you are making an object from the class, that particular variable will automatically get called. That is a thing using init function. There is a difference between instance variable and class variable. So this was the class name we were giving here, right? Name is this is your class variable because you have this variable inside a class, and this is your this variable where you are defining. This is your instance variable. So if you run this program, suppose I name as John. This class variable is John before. Now if I dot name and give again another name, right? This will get is correct. So that is a use of instance variable as class variable. Okay, and we will see how we can create a function methods. So inside class we call this as methods, not functions. Both have the same thing. Both are used in the same way. But inside class we call this as a method. If you get confused, that's why I'm telling you. Second method here self will automatically come. When you are printing name, and here I'll give plus symbol. Well, creating an object. So you need to have to give a name. Name is equal to person. Here you need to give the name. Now let me call another function. So for calling another function, you need to specify the object name first. So object name is p1. Now I will call the function p1. You can see the name is Brad and the second line hello my name is Brad is coming from the this method. This function my function. Inside class, if you use a function that is known as methods. Inside class that is known as methods. Outside class that is known as functions. That's it. Both does the same thing. Yes. This was you can you can modify also. You can delete or you can if you want to modify the values you can modify. You can delete and you can do all those things. You can delete the object also or you can write a pass statement also. You have seen this pass statement is used wherever a statement is required.